What's going on, Jerome's? TJ Hockenson is a Minnesota Fighting Vikings superstar tight end. He's a top 3 tight end in the league, and he certainly is not 3. Also, if you play fantasy football, who's good at tight end now? No one. Mark Andrews doesn't exist with the Ravens anymore. Kittle is whatever, and also Travis Kelce is like he's just donezo. But anyways, of course we know at the end of last season, Derry KB Joseph took out Hawkinson's knee, ACL, MCL, just everything was a mess. But he's been working his ass off. He's been training off to the side, and now officially he'll be returning to official practice on Friday per head coach Kevin O'Connell. Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Kirk Schmidt. Vikings will open TJ Hockenson physically unable to perform practice window on Friday per Kevin O'Connell. He'll travel with the team to London and have his first practice there. Doesn't seem to be a chance that he will play versus the Jets, but the process has begun. Now, he is eligible to return against the Jets. I don't see that happening after one practice. Also, you factor in the Garbaggio turf at the Tossers at Tottenham Stadium, which took Lewisine leg 2 years ago. I just don't see one day of practice, your star tight end, a long season, coming off ACL, MCL, and just trotting him out there like that. Nah. Ain't going to happen. Seifert continued. Kevin O'Connell on TJ Hockenson, whose PUP window will be open Friday. He's done a great job. He feels great, but we've got to get him acclimated back to football. And that's the thing, too, where he's probably going to want at least a full week of practice. Make sure that knee not only looks good in practice, but after practice. How does it respond? Is there soreness the next day? Is there anything concerning? Blah, blah, blah. O'Connell also mentioned that Dalton Reiser's window will not be open this week as he is on injured reserve with that back issue, but having him back eventually. You got the bye next week. We'll see what happens week 7 for the Lions, right? So the rules for a 21-day practice window, this applies for PUP, NFI, as well as injured reserve in season. Can practice in full with the team during those 21 days. He does not count against the 53-man roster until he is activated. 21-day calendar is 21 calendar days. The bye does not affect things, so it's not like that only counts when it's game week. So next week on bye does count as well. Must decide at the end of the 21 days if they're going to put him on the 53 or he goes on season-ending PUP list. So, same thing with Dalton Reiser once he gets back as well. So, looking at the calendar, opening the window up on Friday, 21 days would take you all the way up through Thursday as the Vikings take on the Rams out in L.A. This covers a couple games. So, number one, I don't see him returning against the Jets. And then on the 13th, you have that bye. On the 20th, week 7, you have the low energy Lions. That one makes sense. That one does make the most sense because you would have a full week of practice that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the 6th, 16th through 18th. So you're able to see him up close and personal. And, even on the bye week, Hawkinson's likely going to be sticking around the facility. Although, I don't know, he might go to Cabo like everyone else, right? But he can stick around the facility. He can get work in. He can work with the trainers and all that stuff. Or, if he doesn't return against the Lions, which I don't know, like the script writers would definitely be on one, like Dirty Kirby Joseph and Hawkinson's former team. Maybe that's too on the nose. But if he goes to the Rams game, you get a couple extra days. And even though the Vikings, Thursday Night Football, Tuesday practice and Monday practice, basically more walkthroughs than anything. Same thing with Wednesday. But still would be able to give him a little bit extra time, make sure he was 100% good to go. Also, theoretically, they could just take him off the PUP, put him on the 53, have him be a scratch on game day. So they can do a lot of things like after the window. But either way, Hockenson is close to returning. And I respect the job that Johnny Munt and Josh Oliver have done in Hawkinson's place the first 4 games. Combined, they have 11 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns on 16 targets, which is good over 4 games. But Hockenson is just different, man. He's an absolute difference maker. Also, the Vikings losing Nick Muse after he recovered that onside kick against the Niners with a broken hand. Vikings tight end depth has been a little bit thin. They've elevated Robert Tonyan from the practice squad last 2 weeks. So having Hockenson back is going to be great. I don't think this changes Josh Oliver's role at all because he's more of a blocking tight end and a safety valve receiver as it is. But Munt would return back to tight end 3, and it's a role that he's perfectly fine with. And Hockenson, baby, Hockenson. I think of how good Darnold and Jefferson and Addison and Naylor and Aaron Jones and this offense has looked, and the offensive line, by the way. And then you add a guy who was on pace for a 100-catch, 1,000-yard season before Dirty Kirby Joseph did his thing. It's pretty damn amazing. So I'm fired up to have Hockenson back. Like, he Truly is a star. He's a difference maker, and like, what do you do? like if your defense is like, what do you do? All right, so you're doubling Jefferson. Now Addison is singled up. Hockenson has free reign over the middle. You got Aaron Jones out of the backfield. You got some speedy Naylor taking the top off the defense. What the hell do you do? Like, what was that? Darnold want to go anywhere else? Yeah. It's all good, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings open up. Kickstart My Heart, the 21-day window for TJ Hockenson to return from the PUP list. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section, subscribe, blah, 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 Venmo. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.